Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new here, I am Mar Pagan. I am currently a dental student at the UP College of Dentistry, and I basically make YouTube videos about dentistry and my life. And today's video is going to be about studying and I guess my study tips and my study routine, I guess. I've actually gotten the most requests for this video, and the reason why it's taken me so long to film this is because I'm currently a clinician and we don't really have exams anymore. We only have final exams, and those only take place like at the end of the semester. And to be honest, when it's like final season, I'm really not in the mood to be filming anything, or much less to be filming about studying. So I've just been kind of putting it off, and to be honest, part of it is also because I'm not like the top student in my class, so I guess I just feel like a fraud giving advice about studying, but I think that's just me. Anyway, I think I'm just being really self-critical because I guess I made it this far, so maybe I do have some credibility when it comes to giving you guys study tips. So let's skip ahead. Before I start, I'm gonna go over how I study, what my study routine is, and what my study tips are. And I don't know how the scheme is because some schools have prelims or preliminary exams, and then midterms, and then finals. In my school, it's just I think long exams. Crap, it's been so long. But it's basically like exam 1, exam 2, exam 3, and then finals. But the similarities that both of these exam schemes have, I guess, is the volume of lessons. I believe you're not studying for a quiz, you're studying usually for like a 100-point exam, some maybe a little less or a little bit more, and you're studying a lot of lessons. Look, I'm not gonna give you guys a step-by-step on how to study, because if you've made it to dental school already, or even just thinking of applying, or basically if you're in high school and you're looking into like different courses for college, I'm sure you guys know how to study. I don't need to teach you how to study. What I am going to impart are some of my tips, things that I have learned over the past few years. I got into dental school in 2015, but I got into college in 2013. I shifted to dentistry in 2015. I'm not gonna explain why, but basically I've been in school for 9 years, so I have 9 years of experience studying at the college level, and these are the things that I've learned. The sweet spot for me when it comes to studying, I think, is 1 week. 2 weeks, maybe if you have the luxury of that much time. But when I study 2 weeks in advance, or when I've tried to, I always start kind of slow because it's so far ahead. So 1 week is normally the sweet spot for me. And that means studying every day for 1 week. But the nice thing about that is, even though it sounds like a lot, is that you don't have to like cram, and you don't have to stay up really late at night, and you don't have to spend your entire day, for example, studying. On a weekend, I can spend the whole 6 to 8 hours just studying. Like, obviously that includes breaks in between, but I will spend that much time. And it's not a new thing. I'm sure a lot of you who are watching this, if you're in college already, you can understand, especially if you're in dental school. You can literally spend an entire day studying, or you can dedicate an entire day to studying. That includes breaks and like resting in between, but basically that day is dedicated for studying. It's super possible. 4 hours to study to me is kind of the minimum, because honestly the first hour is like getting into the groove. When you hit the second hour, that's when you're kind of okay, and that's when you're beginning. Third hour, you're in the thick of it, or you're in the middle of it. Fourth hour, you're like, okay, I can go over one more lesson and then that's it. So to me kasi, the way it would work is we have trances. Each lesson's notes are all compiled into these documents that are disseminated to our batch. And I think I can go through one, let's say 8 to 10 page trans in about 4 hours. And that's not just reading, that includes taking notes, trying to memorize. So about 4 hours per 8 to 10 page trans. Some trances are maybe 3 hours, 3 pages, 4 pages. So sometimes I can take 1 hour, 2 hours. It really depends on how heavy the material is. My second study tip would be to have a textbook and to always read your textbook. Actually, now I'm gonna admit I am not the best at reading my textbook all the time, especially when I'm pressed for time. It's why we have trances. I do study my trances a lot, but the best way talaga is to read your textbook, because I will say that the exams that I read my textbook for all had higher grades than if I'd only studied the trans. But that's not to say that I didn't pass the Just Chances. I would definitely pass the Just Chances. And again, let's be honest, when you're in dental school, sometimes you just aspire to pass. That was me. I did try to aim high naman. I tried to get at least a 90, but honestly my expectations were always like 70s, 80s, because I think the passing for us was 60%. So normally I get like 70 plus, 80 plus, and I was happy. That's another study tip, is to not, or try not to put too much pressure on yourself. I am definitely the type of person who puts pressure on herself. I do that not just for school, but for everything. Maybe it's being the eldest child, but honestly there was no point in like being hard on myself. So yeah, don't put too much pressure. Don't be so hard on yourself. As long as you pass, honestly, that should be enough. Next study tip. Take down notes in class. That's actually the number one tip that I can give, is to always take down notes in class and try to sit in front. Number one, like if people make fun of you for sitting in front, that's just stupid, okay? Sit in front if you want to sit in front. I sit in front because I hear the professor better. It's also easier to understand when they're explaining things, and it's easier to stay focused. Just sit in front, it's the best. Also, another great tip is to study with friends and to quiz each other and test each other on the material. For sure, I can say 100% that the things that my friends and I reviewed together and tested each other on, and particularly whenever I would have questions for my friends, I would always remember the answers they gave me. So whenever it came up on the exam, I'd be like, oh, this is what, say, my friend Kylie gave me the answer to, and this is the answers. Like, I always remember when it's discussed with my friends. So I definitely recommend you guys having a study group, or even just a study friend or a study partner, and study together. Find people though that can help you stay focused. And I mean, admittedly, when you're friends, there will be times talaga na, chismisan, gossiping, and like taking a study break in that sense. But make sure that you guys are at least disciplined enough to get back to focusing and get back to studying. So yes, that's very important. Also makes studying a lot more fun and a lot more bearable, and also helps you to actually stick to the study schedule when you have people to keep you accountable. What else? You know what, guys? Okay, this isn't like... I'm really so tired. I'm doing this in real time. I came from the clinic today, and my head is honestly still kind of foggy. I do have a little bit of a headache, like right here. I think it's because I was dehydrated all day. I was just in the mood to film tonight, and I just wanted to film, and I just wanted to like give it to you guys already, because I don't know how many people have asked me for study tips, and I'm literally like, stay tuned for that, stay tuned for that. And the other thing that I was like struggling with is like, how am I gonna make this video? I don't want to make it, it's not my style to make it like a pretentious, like, here's how you should study, this is the best way to study, because there is no best way to study. I'm just sharing what's worked for me, and maybe it will work for you guys. So let me get my brain back into the discussion. Okay, the reason why it's so important that you listen in class and take down notes is there are often things that a professor will say, especially if they're the type to give exams verbatim and to ask or to put essay questions on the exams. And if they're the type, then those you should especially take notes for. And also, professors do emphasize things in class, and when they emphasize it, then already assume it's gonna come out in the exam. So better write that down. Also, if you guys also have trances, your notes should supplement your trances. Your classmates make those trances, and their basis is also just the professor's lecture and their understanding and interpretation of it, and also hopefully your textbooks, although I'm pretty sure not everybody uses the textbook. The thing about relying on other people's interpretations and understanding is it might not always be correct, and they might also miss some things. So I can also attest that as great as my batch's chances are, I've always had to supplement what I have in my notebook into my chant. So I'd always have doodles on it. I'd have to add stuff to it. Sometimes I'd have to change things, especially if you're in your first year and you guys are still learning how to write chances. There will definitely be some errors there, and yeah, just having your notes and your own notes to back them up is definitely very helpful, because even just having the wrong spelling, using the wrong word to describe something can be crucial, or can decide whether your answer will be wrong or right. And also it helps you retain the information better when you sort of edit the chants with your own notes. Humans or people remember their mistakes and remember their errors. And I think I can say that every time I found a mistake or an error in a trans that I corrected, I definitely remembered that specifically. So just don't rely on one source when you're studying. Have your trans if you guys have transes, have your textbook, that's the best, and then have your professor's lecture if they provide the presentations or the decks, and then also have your own notes. If your professor sends you guys their presentation before the lecture, there are some that do this. Back then, I would print out literally all the slides. I probably have about 4 to 6 slides per page, and I would take those with me during the lecture and then write notes on the side. I started college in 2013. Hindi pa uso ang iPad nun. In fact, wala pang Apple Pencil nun, okay? And I can still remember the first time I ever saw an iPad and Apple Pencil in class. It was from my friend Lex. Hi Lex, if you're watching this. And I was like so amazed. I was like, oh my god, is that an iPad? What is that? It's an Apple Pencil. What? I was just mind blown. Just basically notes. Reading and studying in advance before the lecture is also great, because when you go to the lecture, it will reinforce what you already read and what you already know. What else? I hope you guys don't hate this. I hope you guys don't think that this is super disorganized. This is just how I do things. I like to keep things more natural. And I feel like, because when I talk to you guys, I just feel like I'm talking to friends, and I'm talking to friends who are asking me for help with studying, and this is how I would do it. Just understand yourself, accept yourself, love yourself, and then you can have and find the best study routine for you. I'm not gonna give you guys like a one-size-fits-all, because that just does not exist. Everybody has an individualized study routine, much like we provide individualized patient care, individualized treatment, because everybody is different and everybody responds to things differently and takes things in differently. Don't compare yourselves to others, okay? Although sometimes I think that's also kind of impossible, because you also do want to look at, I do also sometimes find it helpful to sort of assess where everybody is, where my class is, how everybody's doing. And when I feel like I'm kind of falling a little bit behind, then it kind of pushes me to put a bit more effort into studying and into working on that class. So I do think sometimes that just looking at other people as basis to push you and motivate you is healthy. If somebody did well on a test and you didn't, focusing on that, like, oh, they got such high grades and I got really shitty grade, and if it's gonna make you feel really bad, then maybe don't do that anymore. But if it's gonna, because you know, for some people it motivates them, then fine, go ahead. But remember also that everybody has subjects that they are good at and that they struggle with. Anybody who says that they're really amazing at every single subject in dentistry is, I think, in my opinion, lying or BS. No one's gonna be equally good at everything, okay? Dentistry has so many skills that go into the treatments and the procedures, and you're always gonna have strengths and you're gonna have weaknesses. That's it. Okay, so those are my very honest study tips. So if there's something or anything that works for you, just write on those, use those, go with those. If it doesn't work, then don't do it. Don't take my advice. All right? I hope this was helpful at least. I hope this answered some of your questions. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. I hope that this was kind of helpful. If there's anything I missed, then just let me know kindly. You can put it in the comments. You can send it to me in my Instagram DMs kindly, and then maybe I can make another video about it if there's anything I missed. Alright, thank you guys so much, and good luck! Good luck with studying. Just go through this journey of self-discovery in dental school and like learning about yourself, and go with it and take it, and just don't put too much pressure on yourself, and don't be so hard on yourself, and just peace and love always. Peace and love all the time, guys. Alright, bye! 'Cause I love you, yes I